The United States is home to over 400 national park units and over 60 unique national parks, which can make many visitors confused on what to bring when traversing these interesting places. Your packing list will vary depending on whether it's a national historic site or a national scenic riverway you want to see, but today we'll be taking a look at what you might want to bring if you are visiting one of America's major national parks. So strap in and get ready to discover how to make the best of your next national parks trip. While some national parks do not charge entrance fees, like Great Smoky Mountains for example, most require you to pay a small amount of money to see the wonders within. One way to make getting into the parks easier, at least money-wise, is to buy an America the Beautiful annual pass. The pass, which costs $80, is a great item to have, especially if you plan on visiting multiple parks in a short period of time. It is valid for 1 year from when you get it, meaning that you have a pretty good span of time to use it wherever you go. If you are planning on going hiking or doing other activities outside of your car, bringing a backpack with a few essential items is a smart idea. Here are some good items to have on you if you go off the main park roads. Water. Staying hydrated is very important in any season, but especially in the summer in parks that often have high temperatures like Grand Canyon, Zion, and of course the king of them all, Death Valley. The NPS estimates that drinking between a half liter and liter of water each hour while you're out will keep you hydrated, but depending on the circumstances of your activity, you may need to change the amount of water you intake. Sunscreen and bug spray. Protecting yourself from the sun and bugs will make your trip much more enjoyable than if you don't. Apply these before you start a hike, especially if it looks like the trail is going to be overgrown. Sunscreen is helpful if you're going to a beach to protect from the rays beaming down on you from above. A flashlight or a headlamp. When you're hiking in the middle of the day, you hopefully won't need this, but always bring a source of light if you are hiking before sunrise or near sunset, in case you need to find your way back to the trailhead in the dark. If you get lost, the light will also be helpful if you're stuck in the woods after night falls. Maps. The National Park Service will often provide you with an informational brochure at the entrance of most of the major national parks, but if they don't, you can usually find maps in the visitor center. The maps in the back of the brochure provide a little detail into how the park works, but any backcountry explorer should look into purchasing or acquiring a topographic map of the park in question, as the detailed maps can help you get oriented on trails or if you get lost. The park brochures are also a cool item to collect, to show folks which national parks you've been to. Proper clothing. Making sure you're wearing adequate clothing for whatever park adventure you go on is always a must. Hiking boots will greatly help out on most trails at the parks, but depending on the terrain and altitude, you may have to wear several layers of clothing if you decide to hike it somewhere like Chili Logan Pass in Glacier National Park. And it is preferably more optimal if you wear your swimsuit for snorkeling in the waters of Biscayne Park than for a day in Denali. The point is, always go into any national park activity wearing the proper clothing for your travels, and national park rangers are certainly willing to provide advice if you are confused on how many layers or types of clothing you should be wearing for any given activity. Food. Whether you're going on a several-day camping trip or driving around one of the parks by car, many of the parks take several hours to fully see and immerse yourself in, which means bringing food is always a good idea. Light snacks are helpful during long trail treks, but remember if you decide to camp, in the western parks particularly, but across the board nonetheless, be bear aware and put your food out of reach of the big creatures so you don't get hurt and your food stays safe. These were just a few of the things any responsible visitor should bring along when heading to one of America's excellent national parks, but there are many more items that are helpful in a jiffy. We didn't have time to go into rain gear, a first aid kit, buffs, or cameras, but all of these things are essential as well. Be sure to check out the NPS's list of 10 essential things to bring into the national parks, most of which are covered on this list. Link will be in the description below. We hope you now have a little bit of a better understanding of the types of things that will help you make the best of your next national park adventure. And with that, until next time, stay safe and try to enjoy some of the wonders that America's outdoors have to offer.